Hello and welcome to Crouton Cracker Jacks. Today I'm going to show you how to make rainbow Jell-O Jiggler deviled eggs for Easter. These eggs are layered up using 6 different flavors of Jell-O. They're super easy to make. They do take a little bit of time, but most of that time is spent letting the individual layers chill in the refrigerator. So let me show you how easy these are to make. Now you're going to need quite a few ingredients and supplies for this, but don't be alarmed. Of course, we're going to need individual flavors of Jell-O. I've got cherry, orange, lemon, lime, berry blue, and grape. You're also going to need some unflavored gelatin here, as well as for the opaque layers, some non-fat yogurt. You could also use sour cream or Cool Whip. You're also going to need some heavy whipping cream for the tops. You're also going to need some oil to grease up your molds, a selection of measuring cups, a whisk. You'll also need a funnel just to make things easier, measuring spoons to make things even easier, a syringe, but that's completely optional. And then of course you're going to need some molds. I have these Jell-O Jiggler molds here. You can buy these on eBay and Amazon. They pop open and are hinged. They're super easy. The size that they are, they work perfect for this. If you don't have those or don't want to buy them, you can also use just these regular plastic eggs that you get anywhere that you can put candy in. Most of them nowadays have holes in the bottom, so you're going to have to tape those up so your Jell-O doesn't spill out. And of course, you're going to have to put a hole on top so you can pour your Jell-O in. So let's get this started. To start off, like I said, I'm going to be using the Jell-O Jiggler molds because I have them and it makes this super easy. But no matter what molds that you use, you want to take some vegetable oil and a piece of paper towel or something, and you want to lightly grease your molds. Otherwise, your Jell-O is not going to come out at all. You don't need a whole lot of oil in there, just enough to put a light coating on there, just to make sure that they do come out when you go to unmold them. You want to do both sides of your mold, and then we can go ahead and work on our Jell-O. Now to make up my Jell-O, I'm going to do all the layers the exact same, so I'm just going to show you with one color here. I've got 2 tablespoons of cold water in a measuring cup here, and I'm going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of unflavored gelatin, and I'm just going to sprinkle that right on top. Basically what this is going to do is make sure that our Jell-O eggs set up nice and firm. Because we're not going to use the full amount of water, you don't have to use this if you don't want to, but it does make your eggs a lot firmer. And you just want to let that sit for about a minute or 2 until it gets somewhat dissolved in that cold water. And then you want to add in a 3-ounce package of Jell-O powder. Of course, you want to start with the red here, and you want to add in enough boiling water to make 1 1/4 cups of liquid here. And then I'm going to whisk this for a good 2 to 3 minutes until everything is dissolved. Now, because each layer that I am doing, each color, is going to be 2 separate layers. I'm going to have a clear layer as well as an opaque layer. I'm going to need to separate these off. For the first batch, for the clear layer, I'm going to pour off 3/4 cup of my Jell-O mixture into a separate measuring cup and just set that off to the side. And then to make my remaining Jell-O mixture opaque, I'm going to add in enough sour cream or yogurt or even Cool Whip if you wanted to make 3/4 cup. Now, depending on how this works out, it should be technically 1/4 cup, but just add in enough so it comes up to 3/4 cup. And then just whisk that together. And then you want to set both of your mixtures off to the side to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes before you pour them into the mold. Now, for the Jell-O Jiggler molds, this is super easy here. Each layer is going to be 1 teaspoon, which is 5 cc's or 5 milliliters, of liquid that you need to put into the molds. And this is where using the syringe comes in handy. It makes it super easy to measure out an exact quantity and get it into the mold. So I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of the clear Jell-O into each mold cavity, and then I'm going to set that into the refrigerator to chill for between 15 and 20 minutes before I add the opaque layer with the sour cream or yogurt in it on top. You want to make sure that each layer is sufficiently chilled before you add the next layer on. That way they don't mix together and you have distinct lines in your finished eggs. At the same time, you don't want to chill the individual layers more than 15 to 20 minutes because then the next layer that you put on top will not actually stick to the layer below, which you will see here in a minute what I'm talking about. So once you get the first layer of red in there and it is chilled for 15 to 20 minutes, you can go ahead and put the second layer of red on, the opaque layer. Again, put it in the refrigerator for 15 to 20 minutes to let it set up. And then you can go ahead and make up the orange Jell-O, and you can repeat the same process here, doing each individual layer, doing the clear layer and then the opaque layer of each flavor until you get all the way up to the top. Now for the final layer, which is the grape layer, That layer you do not want to split up. You don't want to have an opaque layer of the purple there. You just want to top off your molds with the clear Jello, so that way you have clear on both ends. Makes it a little bit nicer there. Kind of my OCD at work, if you will. And then once you get that final layer in there, you want to put these in the refrigerator, and you want them to chill for at least 24 hours before you attempt to take them out of the mold. You want to make sure that they are completely chilled, as set up and as firm as they possibly will be. So let them chill out in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. Now, once they've chilled out for 24 hours, you can go ahead and unmold them. Best way to do this is to take your molds and to dump them into some hot water in a bowl. Make sure that the water does not get inside the mold. And you just want to submerge these in the hot water for maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds or so, just enough until that Jello kind of pops away from the side of the mold. If you're using these Jell-O Jiggler molds, it's super easy because you can see where it comes off. But go ahead and dry off your mold, and then carefully, very carefully here, pop open the mold. You don't want to split the layers here, tear the layers apart, because then once they come apart, you can't stick them back together. So just gradually work your way around, slowly opening up your molds here. And then once you get that popped open, you can go ahead and turn them out onto a plate. Be very careful with these. You don't want them to fall apart. As you can see here, I got distracted and that orange layer actually set up in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes. So make sure you don't let them chill too long between the layers, because like I said, once they come apart like this, they're not going back together. And then you can leave your eggs whole like this, or you can take it one step further and take your eggs and using a sharp knife, cut them in half, and then place them onto a deviled egg dish, which has these nice little cavities for your deviled eggs halves. You don't have to use one of these if you don't want to. You can just put it on a regular plate. And then I went ahead and made up some homemade whipped cream using heavy whipping cream. And I just put a star tip in a zip top bag and put my cream in that. And I'm just going to pipe out the centers to make them look like deviled eggs using that. And there you go. Like I said, it's not hard to make these at all. It takes a little bit of time. It takes, 4 to 5 hours to do this, but most of that time is spent just letting them chill in the refrigerator. But your family is going to absolutely love these on Easter. It's a little different way to have deviled eggs. The kids are sure to love the different flavors mixed together. So go ahead and give these a try. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe for more deliciousness and to keep up to date on all my latest videos. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.